All right. I think I just hit record. So welcome, everybody. Great morning. Welcome to the Power Up in the Market Update. Super excited to be here with all of you once again. It is May 22nd, 2023. It's 10:05 on the dot. Very excited that you guys are all here listening to this presentation today. And, you know, whatever you guys did over the weekend, I hope that you guys had a great time. You guys were able to spend some time with the family. And also, you know, potentially write up some awesome contracts, right? Get some deals done. Because I know a lot of the business is being done on the weekends, right? So Terry just dropped in the trainings and the six-figure blueprint. These are two things that I really encourage you guys to participate. The six-figure blueprint is happening every Wednesday at 12 o'clock, and we're going to be going into week number 4. And then also, if you missed the first couple of trainings, please go ahead and join the Think Bigger Mastermind, because we do have all of the recordings there in that as well. So first thing we want to talk about is just how our movement got started up here briefly. We got started up 4.5 years ago with these three amazing gals. We're over 2,200 agents strong. We're representing 29 states now, 8 countries. So just super excited with and grateful for what has happened, you know, over the last 4.5 years. So the vision as an organization is to become a global leader in the real estate industry by partnering with the most productive, innovative, and purpose-driven leaders. And we're dedicated to driving growth and success for our agents and teams and providing exceptional service for our clients, right? Because with the service that we give for our clients, that's what's going to reciprocate and grow our business over time. So that's the vision that I have for the organization. And obviously you should have a vision. Borrow mine if you don't have one, but you should have a vision for your business. Why are you doing business, right? And our goal is to serve 21,000 families, 10 billion in volume, and to grow an organization of over 10,000 agents. That's the goal of our organization. Thank you all for participating and being part of this movement. This week, we have 9 powerful trainings that are coming up. All of our trainings, you guys already know, are around productivity, skill building, lead generation, content creation. Terry did drop it all in the chat, so make sure you guys save that link and show up to these trainings because we got some really powerful stuff. This week, we are going to be diving into time management, right? Time management is one of the things that I think a lot of people don't necessarily have a calendar, right? I asked a lot of people, like, you know, when I'm trying to set up an appointment all the time, I'm like, hey, what is your availability on Thursday? I'm like, oh, I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to get back to you. I'm like, well, don't you have your calendar in front of you at all times? I'm like, and that's my line all the time. I'm like, you know what? Why don't we set up an appointment right now? Because one of the great things is that I do have my calendar in front of me at all times. I'm looking at my time slot here for Tuesday. Are you available after 10 o'clock? Right? You should have your calendar in front of you at all times. You should have your calendar so you can book appointments, because the number one thing you got to do as a sales professional is to book appointments, right? If you're not booking appointments, you're not going to create sales. So that's the first entry point into your business. It's going to be the appointment. So you got to have a calendar. You got to make sure. One of the things that I use, guys, by the way, is a Google Calendar. I absolutely love Google Calendar. And I've also connected that with Calendly, right? Because Calendly integrates with that. So you guys got to make sure that you guys are using a calendar. So we're going to have an amazing presentation all about time management this week. And we're going to dive deep, right? Go into the specifics and the details. What are the best, most efficient ways? Because, you know, everybody has the same 24 hours in one day. But I see people every single day. Some of them are lower producers. Some of them are higher producers. The same 24 hours in one day. It's what they are doing every minute of the day that makes all of the difference on the world, right? How they use their time. If you are not, you know, conscious of where your time is doing constantly, then you're going to be, you know, being distracted very easily, right? It's really easy for you to get swayed into something else that has nothing to do with your business, right? You're going to go and like, oh, I got to go clean the garage, or I got to go wash my car, or I got to go do XYZ. No, guys, you guys got to be standing guard at the door of your time more than ever right now, right? Because obviously, as you guys already know, transactions are down, right? We have an average of 6 million home sales a year. We have about 4.5 million home sales this year. So we got to make the most out of our time. You better have lead generation to be part of your time management as well. So this Wednesday, 12 o'clock, make sure you don't miss this session because it's going to be absolutely powerful. One of my most fun subjects, I would say, I used to think that by managing my time and having a calendar, I was going to have less freedom. And what I discovered was that by having a calendar, I have more freedom because I don't even have to think about when I cut my hair. On Saturdays at 10:30, I'm doing my haircut. That's what I do. After my haircut, I get my car washed. Like, it's already on my calendar. I have that every single week like clockwork. That way I'm not reacting constantly. That's what typically happens, by the way. Most realtors I see, they're reacting to the calendar all the time, reacting to the important. So look at the numbers, guys. This is the last 7 days. This is the weekly market update. Look what happened in LA, Orange County, San Diego, Riverside, and San Bernardino. You guys are keeping track of this, right? Because a lot of you are showing up week by week, but look what's happening, guys. Every single week, no matter what the interest rates do, no matter what is happening, we still have a ton of volume that's being done. Look, we have 1.2 billion closed in LA, 739 million in Orange County, 579 million in San Diego, 449 million in Riverside, and 225 million in just San Bernardino, right? That's a lot of business, right? That's what, almost 3 billion in volume every single week. And that's happening every week, right? Because I'm keeping track of this all the time. Why we keep track of this? Number one, you got to keep your customers up to date with what's happening, but you got to keep yourself up to date. You got to know what's happening, because when you speak to a customer, and if you don't know your numbers, they're going to automatically disqualify you as a professional. You got to know your numbers. You got to know the products. You got to know what's out there. You got to know what inventory is hitting the market. You got to know where it's situated, right? That's what is going to make you an expert. That's going to make you valuable. That's going to help you to bring value to the marketplace. And that's the missing link, I would say, guys, because everything is available online, by the way. Everybody can get everything on Zillow and Redfin. But what's going to help you to set yourself apart as a professional is knowing this data that people normally don't have. So look at this data. I mean, the numbers speak very loudly for us in the last 7 days. And we still have, actives, 278 in LA, 385 in Orange County, 528 in San Diego, 573 went active in Riverside, and 498 went in San Bernardino County. So you guys here at the Let's Grow movement can never have the excuse like, there's not enough business, there's not enough transactions. Guys, look at this. There is a lot of business, a lot of properties being listed, a lot of them going under contract, a lot of them are closing, right? So know this information. And I tell you guys this every week. You guys should be doing a video and keeping your community up to date and telling them, like, hey, this is what happened in the last 7 days. By the way, because we do have people here from everywhere, if your county is not in this weekly market update, guess what? Use the MLS, use the stats, you look at the actives, the pending, the close, the average days in the market, and make a video about that. You got to keep your customers up to date. You should also have them in an email list, right? Just like you guys are all getting my emails all the time. Why is that powerful? Because you're staying top of mind. Every single trainer has told you that from the beginning of time. So that's the numbers. Take a screenshot, use it, leverage it, make a video about it, right? Copy and duplicate. So next thing, we have expired. So these are the homes that went off the market, right? Because they weren't priced correctly. Maybe they didn't have the best representation, but 99% of the time it's pricing. So this is a market, right? If you don't want to pick up the phone and call these guys and gals, well, knock on their door, right? And then just say, hey, I was just dropping off keys to one of my customers. I was just visiting one of my past clients, and I noticed that your home expired off the market. I wanted to see if you needed any help. I can get your home back on the market and help you to get it sold right away. I have a guarantee offer program, right? So you got to go after this market. Call them, email them, text them, drop by their home, but make sure you guys are targeting these customers. Expireds for sale by owners are also going to be a big market. But with the data that I just gave you, it's going to be really easy for you to speak to the consumer as well and let them know, hey, by the way, we had this many home sales in the last 7 days. And they're going to be like, well, what happened to my house? I'm like, let me tell you exactly what happened. Let me show you what I could do for you, right? So if I was you guys, I would be door knocking every house that's an expired or for sale by owner around your neighborhood. You got to get this. Everything is about a conversation. Everything is about an opportunity. Everything is about that one connection that can open up doors for you, but you need to initiate conversations. You are not going to make it in this business by being a secret agent. This is not the type of business where you could be a secret agent, guys. So have conversations, go up to them. It's okay if they slam the door, they close the door on you, but make sure you just visit, be kind, be nice, smile at them and drop off some valuable information. So that's what I'll say about expires and for sale by owners this week. And EXP is blowing up. Like our stock is at $15.19. So congratulations to all of you shareholders. Our valuation of our company, I mean, it's literally green all the way, right? I've been keeping track of it, and we keep track of it every week, but it's consistently going up. And why? Because our financials are showing it, right? We're the only company in the industry that is profitable. Every other company is losing money. Like the lowest one, like I think it's like second place. It's like lost like 700,000 the first quarter. The third place, I think, lost 7.4 million the first quarter. So we're the only company that was cash positive 1.5 million the first quarter. So $15.19. Our valuation is about 2.3 billion with a B, right? So congratulations to all your shareholders. Thank you for being part of our wonderful company. And yeah, your stock just went up, right? So I just want to keep you guys up to date on what happened there. So the next conversation we're going to have is about EXP. So I know that a lot of you went to EXP shareholders, but I know Sonny was out there. He was crushing it. I think it was on stage and all that good stuff. He was everywhere out there. But a lot of really cool stuff was announced at EXP shareholders, right? We have an AI program that's called Luna that you guys all could now start to chat with on Workplace, right? So if you guys are not familiar with Workplace, number one, download it on your phone. Workplace is one of the most powerful tools we have at EXP. And you can also find Luna on Workplace, and you can chat with Luna with any questions about the company. So it's our own artificial intelligence bot that just rolled out. We also just partnered with 9 different vendors at EXP, and I'm going to actually drop those vendors here so you guys can see it. And we also just rolled out a military rewards program, right? So this is something that I have had a lot of people actually ask me about. Hey, do we have anything military? So now we do. So these are the press releases. I'm going to be dropping them into the chat, but really exciting stuff. We got new vendors that are going to be there to bring our clients more value. And also the military reward program is giving the customers a rebate for them to, cover their closing costs. So this is a really good, unique value proposition that you can now offer your customers with the military rewards program. I did drop both of the releases on the chat so you guys can read up all about it. I'm not going to go into all of the different details, but we are going to be going into our mortgage update with Mr. Neil Anders. And I see him, he's ready. He's getting ready already right here. So Mr. Neil, what's up, man? What's going on in the mortgage industry? What's going on with the rates? What's up, man? What's new?
That's a good question, Leo. Everyone's asking, what the heck is going on?
I don't know what happened. I can't hear you, buddy.
Can you guys not hear me now?
Neil? I don't know. I can't hear him.
No, I can see.
It turns green, but I can't hear you guys. Can you guys hear Neil? Give me some feedback on the chat.
We can hear Neil.
You guys can hear him?
Okay.
Got it. I don't know why I can't hear you. Well, you look really excited, bro.
Well, I'm excited. So just assume I'm saying great stuff, Leo. So I'll give you a thumbs up when I'm done. But I know everyone's kind of asking, what the heck's going on with interest rates? Because we've been saying for a while that as inflation starts to come down, you guys are going to see interest rates follow suit, right? So what does that mean? Well, we've been seeing inflation come down. We saw the shelter numbers finally as of May 10th. That inflation report came down, showed that they were lower than where they were last year, but we don't see interest rates dropping. In fact, rates actually went up a little bit. So what the heck is going on? What's happening is there's been a huge selling of mortgage bonds. So you have supply and demand for mortgage bonds, that sell off for bonds puts pressure on rates. Why are banks selling bonds? A lot of banks are selling bonds in an attempt to raise capital for depositors. Depositors are people that are maybe taking their money out because they don't have faith in the banking system, or they want to deposit in better options like treasuries or money market accounts. We saw what happened with some of these smaller banks when too many depositors go to withdraw their money at once and the bank didn't have the money. So other banks, as a preparation, are selling off their bonds. So $114 billion in treasuries have been sold off, and that's what's putting pressure on the bond market. In addition to that, we're getting mixed messages in terms of what the Fed intends to do with interest rates. As of about 45 days ago, it seemed really clear in March that the last rate hike that we took was going to be the last, and from there the Fed made it sound like we were going to start coming down. Just like betting odds, we have the same thing in the rate market where it was a less than 5% chance that the feds were going to raise rates at the next meeting. Well, since that time, the Fed presidents Bullard and Logan have been talking about how they think it's important that they do one more rate hike coming up at the next meeting. The odds of that rate hike went up to close to 50%. Now we hear from Fed Chair Powell on Friday that rates may not need to rise as high given credit stress. So that sets up for potential pause at the next meeting. The current odds of a rate hike have moved back down to 20%. That next meeting is coming up on June 14th. Overall, though, guys, the prospect is still very good because we do know that the numbers will continue to show inflation coming down. So as the year continues, we do still expect you to see rates improve. The next big, I guess, information or day that will come out is going to be the second week in July. That's when the CPI report will come out for June. That'll show exactly, again, another update of where we are for interest rates along the way. Now, don't let the higher rates again scare off your buyers. The slightly higher rates, again, are such a great opportunity for new first-time home buyers to get into homes with little or no down because there's not as many offers to compete against. I think that's really crucial. To give you one powerful example, we just had a file close last week through Empower, one of our down payment assistance programs, where we gave the buyer 3% as a down payment towards closing costs with no payment required on that 3%. And as long as they stay in the home for 5 years, it is completely forgiven, meaning it's free money, not like Dream where it has to be paid back or equity gets paid back. In this particular property, 100% financing, got 3% for free, and the seller covered all closing costs. Closed the loan in May, doesn't have a mortgage payment due until July. I mean, when have you seen an industry where you can secure a home, get the keys without a dime out of pocket other than maybe an inspection or appraisal fee, no payment for the first 2 months? Be like, you know, for you, those of us in Orange County driving by the Irvine company and having it say, you know, move in special, move in, no first month, no security deposit, and no payments for your first 2 months. Man, you can't even rent a property like that, but right now you could potentially buy one. So keep that in front of your clients' minds and utilize what is available in this market today. Leo, that's all I got for you. Back to you, sir.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I figured out my microphone situation. So thank you. I heard you loud and clear, man. And thank you, Neil, for bringing that energy and that information. And for those of you guys that have additional questions for Neil, his contact information is there on the screen. But, you know, get creative, guys. Get really creative right now because there is a lot of products that are there to assist your clients, like Neil was mentioning. So don't turn away your clients. And I actually just heard something that was shared on shareholders that one of our, you know, business partners, Casey Council, shared on her page. And he's saying that a lot of these corporations, guys, are coming and buying every single piece of property, right? This is going to be the reality in the next 10 to 15 years. So there's going to be a moment in time where we're not even going to have an option to say, hey, we can buy a house, right? These corporations are wanting to buy every single property that's on the market. So that is a reality that is going to be happening in our future. So home ownership, you guys got to continue to get your clients into, I mean, think about the people. It was so funny. I talked to somebody that's been waiting since 2018. He's like, hey, is the market going to crash 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23? I'm like, bro, you imagine how much you would have had double the amount of property, you know, that you paid for the property if you would have bought when you wanted to buy. Right? So get people off the fence, right? Tell them to buy the property, right? There's really creative programs that can really help them out. So thank you, Neil. And we're going to go with our credit update with Mr. Mike Ayala with the 5 Diamond credit. Also, guys, don't turn down your clients because of their credit, right? Make sure you guys give them options. And Mike is a really valuable resource that's going to be working with you guys side by side to really help you to get these clients qualified. Mr. Mike, are you ready to go?
How's it going, Leo? Thanks for having me. Excited to be here. Thank you, Neil, for that information as well. And typically I tailor on to kind of his updates because it correlates to, you know, obviously mortgage rates rising and having good credit to be able to get the best possible interest rate with the loan. But so today I've been read an article that came out in regards to actually something newer that I haven't really touched into, which is kind of like the buy now, pay later. And with inflation at where we're at, it is typically it's kind of tailored toward millennials where they're kind of just buying everything and not understanding the process of credit or what that's going to lead to down the road. And I know the Credit Act is right now kind of looking into the whole buy now, pay later. It is something a little bit newer. Certainly after COVID happened, I believe it was kind of like the highest. I think in last year, it went up almost like, I think it was like $16 billion under that buy now, pay later. And I don't know, most people I've seen like PayPal offers that. There's a big company called Affirm where I've seen like at Best Buy or Apple, if you go shopping for things, it'll say, hey, buy now and have, whatever, 24 months of $32.99 payments. And I guess kind of where I'm going with it is, if you're going to buy something, kind of understand the fact that, most people or younger kids are going to go in, buy an item, not realize that, eventually they're going to have to start making payments on those items, which they're saying is becoming a problem because people are missing their payments. And certainly what that does is negatively impact their credit by missing that late payment, or eventually just missing it altogether because they went on spending what they thought was because they didn't have that initial expense. They went on and continued their monthly spending as normal, not realizing that eventually they're still going to have to pay that monthly after that initial purchase. And down the road, that's going to lead to collections and certainly have a buildup of negative items, which certainly, again, is going to be a process coming down. Well, are all these people that are doing that now, that kind of takes away from the real estate side of things of certainly they're not going to be able to
Qualify.
home because their credit is going to be terrible.
Yeah.
It's something to really look into if you're going to purchase. Try to make sure that you're going to you plan for that expense, that it isn't just a free item, that eventually you're going to be paying interest on it and having those payments so that you don't miss a payment and end up detrimentally impacting your credit score negatively.
Yep. Very cool, man. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much for sharing. Reach out to Mike as well, guys. Don't turn down any client. Make sure if they do mess up, right? Like, people are going to mess up. They're going to have stuff that comes up. Mike can really take care of them and get them, basically restarted, right? Get rid of a lot of these negative inquiries so that way they can be qualified, right? And that's one of the things that I would do at a very high level. I would talk to everybody. I would do like a pre-qualification. I would kind of figure out where their income is at. And if the credit was an issue, hey, I'll partner them up with somebody amazing like Mike that could repair their credit, and you start to build a pipeline, right? So thank you, Mike, for what you do for our clients, and thank you for your sharing today. So we're going to be going on to our escrow update with Ms. Nina Alvarez. How you doing, Nina? Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, Leo.
Hello, hello.
Hey, thank you for one of the things I wanted to mention about these Monday meetings. It helps me stay definitely accountable, because sometimes there's those days I wake up, I'm like, oh my God, I kind of want to stay in bed longer, but this keeps me accountable. It sets the tone for the week. So thank you for that, Leo.
You're welcome.
So today I just wanted to share a conversation or an open house that I actually did a few weeks ago. I had an agent who found me via social media. He works for Compass. He's a luxury agent. He's been following me for a few years, and I guess, he liked what I was doing. So he reached out to have a conversation on how I could help elevate his marketing for his business. So he had a listing in Santa Ana in the Floral Park neighborhood. So if you guys are familiar, it's a really nice nice neighborhood there. So he had a listing there for 1.6. So he asked me for any suggestions on, because he wanted to take advantage that he got a listing in that pocket and make some noise and presence there. So then we sat down and strategized with bringing in a barista on spot.
Oh,
So
nice.
little things like that. Yeah. So it was, what is it called? Like specialty coffee right in front. We had about over 100 people show up.
Wow.
Marketing that way actually impressed a lot of people. He got 2 buyers off of it. He got 1 more listing off of it. And the feedback from other buyers agents that were coming through, they were actually impressed too. So that was a real big hit. And that's like one thing that we That's an idea. And there's like, I know people do like taco mans, or like in the summer, one of the things that we do for agents is we have this contact with an ice cream man. So he's literally on a bike with this big bright umbrella, and they'll ride the bike around the neighborhood, door knock, tell all the neighbors, hey, you know what? There's an open house going on here at 1 p.m. Stop by, there's free ice cream, check out the house. So that one's always a big hit too. So obviously when you do this type of marketing, I highly suggest that you utilize it, market this on social media. Social media is a huge thing. Leo, I got another listing 2 weeks ago. My friend, also a childhood friend, she's moving to Texas. So she wanted to sell her home, and then she needs to sell her meal prep business. So
There you go.
yeah, and she reached out to me. I am an escrow, I work for an escrow company. So then I asked her out of curiosity, what is it that made you reach out to me knowing that I'm not a realtor? Well, obviously, number one, it's they have to like you and have a level of trust in you. But
Yep.
she said that I'm very consistent on social media. I give off a reliable presence. And then she says that she always sees me networking, like I'm always out there within the real estate community. So guys, like, join NAREP, join ARIA, be present, and utilize social media. Document what you're doing the day, what you ate, what you did, where you went, who you talked to. You never know who's watching. So if you guys have any questions or want any marketing support, reach out to your escrow rep or give me a call. I'm here for you.
Thank you, Nina. Appreciate that. And what you said is spot on. Definitely, guys, you guys got to be consistent, right? Business moves at the speed of trust, right? So people are going to trust you if you're consistent. If you're not consistent, people are going to think that you're not reliable, and that's going to create trustworthiness. So definitely spot on, right? Do things that are going to be unique, put them on social media, obviously, and make sure that you're consistent. So, all right. So the conversation, I created a conversation for you guys today, and the subject is Outlast the Temporary. That's the subject for today. That's the conversation I have. So what do I mean by that? I've been in this business almost 18 years now, and I've been through situations in my life where honestly, I didn't feel like some of those times were temporary. There were many times where I thought that my situation or what I was going through was going to be permanent. Right. Case in point, when I was getting just up and started in the business, really early on, I remember that, market crashed. I went through financial struggles. I got my car repossessed. I got my house foreclosed. I got evicted out of several different homes. I filed for bankruptcy. I literally went through all of this stuff in a matter of a year. And guess what, guys? For me at that time, I thought that was permanent. I honestly thought I was never going to make it out of that problem, that I was never going to get out of it. But, obviously it's really easy to say, hey, I'm going to outlast the temporary when everything's going really well. But what happens, guys? What happens when stuff hits the fan like that, right? Like you're getting your car taken away or your house taken away, right? I don't wish that on anybody in here, but that has happened to me, right? And at times I felt like that was a permanent situation. Everything that is happening in this world, even your body, it's temporary, right? 2 years, 3 years ago, I had way less white hair on this beard, and I got a bunch of white hair on this beard, right? Everything is temporary. My dark beard was temporary, right? And the case of my grandfather, God bless my mom. Actually, she gave me her good genes, but my grandfather didn't even have any hair on his head, right? He was bald, right? So your hair is temporary. Everything is temporary, right? So be present in the moment and make sure that you don't allow anything, I'm talking about any failure, anything you're moving through to trick you into thinking it's permanent. The one thing that I learned, right, after failing, and then getting back up, getting back up, the one thing that I figured out is that no matter how much time I spent in the failure and basking in the kind of like the pity party and saying how bad it was for me, and I got into this victim mentality. I did that for some time. Guess what? Nothing changed in my life when I was in a victim mindset. Nothing changed when I was when I was suffering in pain. Nothing changed. Things started to change when I got back on the court, and I started to take action. And I started to take action. And I started to take action. So you have to have faith again, right? Take the actions and have faith that everything is going to change. Everything is temporary. These changes in the market right now are temporary. The interest rates are temporary, right? These loan products are temporary, right? We got some like really cool products right now that are helping your clients qualify. These things are not going to be around forever, right? Like I mentioned about the inventory earlier. We may have the day in 15 years where we're not having even inventory to sell because these corporations have bought everything, right? That could happen, right? So everything is temporary. Every single thing is temporary. So you guys want to make sure that every single day you're focusing on your dream, your goal. You don't lose sight of that. And one thing that does happen, by the way, when you start to achieve success, and let's say you got a couple of sales, you got a couple of transactions, the one thing that does happen is that we tend to pivot back to our emotional home, right? To our emotional home. Where do you live emotionally, right? And if I'm being honest, right, my emotional home before was kind of like, sad and not very excited. My emotional home now is peaceful, excited, grateful, right? That's my emotional home now. But what does happen as you start to do things in life, you will go through situations, and right away, your mindset is going to keep taking you back to your emotional home. And if you didn't grow up in a very abundant childhood, your emotional home is not abundant. It's probably scarce. So you have to continue to practice the law of abundance, right? And practice what abundance looks like and what it feels like, and be connected to that. That's the one thing that you guys really want to connect with every single day. And get connected to what actually matters, right? Like, what feeling are you actually after, right? Obviously, we don't want to be sad. We don't want to be depressed. We don't want to be frustrated. We don't want to be angry. We don't want to be any of that stuff, right? We want to be abundant. We want to be happy. We want to be excited. We want to be peaceful, right? So when you get the transactions, let's just say that your dream right now, you're thinking, I'm like, you know what? At the end of the year, I want to sell 50 homes this year. I want to sell 100 homes this year. I want to sell 25 homes this year. I want to make $500,000, $1 million, right? I want to be able to pay off a house. I want to drive this kind of car. I want to have this kind of suit. I want to kind of have this kind of clothes. I want to have these kind of experiences. So those experiences, everything, the one thing that all of those things have in common is a feeling. So you're after a feeling, guys. That's what you're after. You're really after a feeling. So let's just say you guys think about your dream life, your dream business. Everything is going the way you want it to go. Think about the feeling of where you're going and feel that feeling today. Even if it doesn't show up, right? Physically, if your life is not reflecting that dream life, you have to bring that dream life into your now, right? For the first 3 years here at EXP, I said I was going to have 1,000 agents under my leadership. I drove a Prius with the intention of saying, hey, after I get 1,000 agents, I'm going to buy myself my, Tesla Model S red. I had it in my brain. I had faith. There was many times that I went through that whole process that I was like, man, like this is taking longer than I thought. Like, what the heck, right? But you got to stay consistent. You got to continue to have faith. You got to continue to move forward, and you will get there. You have to have faith within yourself. And it's all going to come down to your confidence, by the way. It's going to come down to your self-confidence, right? Do you really believe in you as much as you say you do? Right? Because if you don't believe in you as much as you think you do, then when something comes across the board, like a transaction that is like goes sideways, you got a deal that fell out of escrow, or you got a client that's like a nightmare client, or, you had a potential client that was going to go in escrow and they decided, hey, I don't want to buy anymore. There's so many things that can go south. So that's the important part. When stuff hits the fan, what do you do after that? Do you pivot back into action? Do you pivot back into gratitude? Do you pivot back into abundance? Or do you pivot into sadness and frustration and like, I'm going to take a break, right? Because that's what typically happens. We have a max, like a ceiling of what we could take and tolerate. And what I found, right, as I developed myself through different seminars and read different books, what I found myself is that I've been able to develop my capacity, right? I'm able to take, these left hooks and these right hooks, and it doesn't mean anything anymore because I have faith that I'm going to get to my destination. I will have 100,000 real estate agents under my leadership in the next 10 years. That's gonna happen no matter what, right? Because I have faith. I'm working towards it every single day. Will there be challenges along the way? Absolutely. Will the market continue to shift? Absolutely. All of those things will continue to happen. So my intention in this conversation, guys, is to outlast the temporary, whatever it is you're going through, outlast it. And if it's going really good, congratulations to you. I'm so grateful and excited that it's going great. Continue to focus on it, because the one thing that I've also found when I'm succeeding, right? This is another thing that happens when you're succeeding, we tend to chill and we tend to coast. We have a couple of transactions. We had a couple big closings. You know, we had 50, 60, 70, $80,000 coming to the bank account. We're like, you know what? I could stop doing all the things that I was doing before. I could probably stop following up. I can probably not manage my calendar effectively. I can probably not do open houses for a couple of weeks. And before you know it, you're at 0 transactions. And now you're 90 days out from another paycheck, right? That happens. So you got to continue to keep yourself in the driver's seat, continue to take action. And if it's going good, don't get intoxicated with that and continue to take action, because this market is continuously changing and you can't change. You got to be consistent every single day. So I was really inspired by something I heard this weekend with Ed Milet in The Power of One More. His book is absolutely phenomenal. I've talked about his book in the past, and we had actually Ed Milet as shareholders this weekend as well. But the top 10 ideas in his book is incremental progress, right? That's one of his main ideas. Personal responsibility. This is huge, guys. Don't allow anything outside of you to take away your power. Don't say it's the interest rates. Don't say it's another agent. Don't say it's a client. Don't say it's a seller. Don't say that. It's your responsibility. The moment that you take full responsibility, say, I'm responsible for me and my actions and my results, that's when you got power in your life. Standing out, right? Like Nina mentioned earlier, we got to stand out. We got to continue to be on social media. The ripple effect, right? The power of one conversation, the power of one open house, the power of one phone call, right? The ripple effect that it causes. You have no idea what you're doing when you do these actions. So just keep doing them, right? I've had times in my life where things just started like exploding in a positive way. Like it just started taking off. And if I could literally put a finger on it and say, like, what was the exact moment that happened? I don't know. I just know that I keep making deposits. I keep making deposits. I keep making deposits. And guess what? You make enough deposits, you're going to be able to make some big withdrawals, right? So resilience, right? No matter what happens, you got to keep going. The compound effect, breaking limits, leadership, collective impact, right? Those are the top 10 ideas. Read that book. If you guys haven't read this book, make sure you guys read it. And these are the top ideas that I have for you guys as well, right? How do you guys have a powerful morning, right? How do you wake up every single day with intention? Well, prepare your day. Make sure you're spending some time with yourself, monitoring your thoughts. Where are your thoughts going, right? Writing out your reality. What are you going to create? Who are you going to follow up with, right? Who do you want to be in business with? Write that down, visualize it. Feed your mind, right? Listen to some Ed Milet or do something like Tony Robbins, right? Read a book, go to a seminar. 2 appointments a day is not negotiable, guys. 2 appointments a day every single day. No matter what happens today, no matter what happens with the rest of the week, you got to have 2 appointments every single day. If you keep that consistent, you will never have a difficulty in your business, but you got to keep that principle. You got to set up new appointments. That's your storefront, right? Share your goals, create accountability, right? Get some friends and tell them, hey, I'm going to be doing 10 listings this year. How many are you going to do? Let's hold each other accountable, right? Prospect, prospect, prospect. That's the oxygen, right? Without prospecting, we don't breathe in real estate. Build relationships and add value. That's the loop. And what I'm going to be creating this week, what are you going to be creating this week? How many listings are you going to sign? How many open escrows? How many closings? How many agents are you going to attract? Get specific. You should have already done this on Sunday, but if you didn't, make sure you write it down, because there's something powerful that happens when you write stuff down. And who I am is the possibility of being excited and empowered, right? Get excited, guys. If you guys are not excited, you're probably not going to be attracting as much business as you possibly can. You got to get excited. I'm not saying you got to be like me, but be you a little more excited, right? That's all you got to do, because that's going to be a magnet for abundance, a magnet for transactions, a magnet for listings. You'll be at a certain place and they see your energy. You're like, wait a minute, I need a real estate agent. I want to talk to you, right? That's who you want to be. Make sure that you guys have your company branded somewhere, right? Wear the shirts, have a badge, have something where people can recognize. If you're sitting at a Starbucks, you better have like a sticker on your laptop that says that you're part of EXP. You better have something that people can recognize, like, wait a minute, you're a real estate agent, right? And like Sonny just said, high energy equals high income. Powerful, powerful stuff. So thank you so much for being here, guys. That's it for today. It's 10:45 on the dot. Thank you all for participating. Thank you all for your listening. And let's have an amazing week. Let's create some abundance. Let's create some miracles. And I hope that this week is filled with opportunity. And you guys get unexpected listings. Like you get a call from somebody and says, I need to list my house, right? Or you get an escrow that just opens up. Yes, sir. Mr. Neil, what's going on? You got something to share? Or you got an escrow, you got an update, or what's up?
He's not listening. He's actually on his phone call.
Oh, he's on a phone call. I thought he was saying something. Well, he was just saying high five. All right. Good to see you, Mr. Sonny. Good to see everybody. We're going to be signing off now.
Same here. Thank you so much. Leo, I want to take a moment to tell you thank you in front of everyone for bringing me in EXP. And I felt so special last week.
Thank you, my friend. I see. Thank you. Thank you for being part of our organization. Thank you for being that energetic. If you guys don't follow Sonny on social media, make sure you follow Sonny. I was talking about energy. This guy has energy, right? Follow him on Instagram and Facebook. But that's exactly what happened, right? He's showing up as his best self everywhere he goes. And he had his billboards, like he had like literally signs with his face on it everywhere on EXP shareholders. And he was on stage, right? So congratulations, man. Congratulations.
One right behind when Glenn was talking, general session 1, and they surprised me. And Michael Valdez was next to me, showing me that. But guys, yes, high energy means high income. Always be best of you and learn from Leo and copy it your style.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, everybody else. I'll see you guys at the next class.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, Leo.
Later on.